Hey y'all, what's up? Big Wooly here, and welcome back to episode 15 of our FTB Skies Expert Let's Play. Now, you may notice that things look a little bit different. So I streamed last night over on Twitch, Big Wooly 1013 on Twitch. I think I can link that in the description, so I'll try to put that in the description of this video. That's probably what I'm going to start doing for some of these, where I've got a lot of work to be done in between episodes, and it's not necessarily stuff that makes for a great YouTube video. So we got a bunch done. We took and rearranged the main storage area here, and we started the move of some things out from our upstairs area. We moved all of our resource generators. Don't have those set back up yet. We made some custom skin drawers here for the things that were in drawers. We got our storage lectern moved over into the corner, and got it linked up with some bigger chests we got from quest rewards, put down our tiny potato with another tiny potato to hang on to. And then we started gathering things where they're going to go. So we need to get our kilns, we want all of them over here because we're going to need the creosote and whatnot over on this island for all of the setup down below. Now, we have not got the downstairs set up yet, and I don't know if that's going to be a good episode thing, because it's going to be a lot of me figuring out how to set stuff up. So for today, we're going to just focus on a little bit more progression. I think what we should get into is thermal. I kind of want to start down this route because we need to get through thermal. We need to get more source condenser for liquid source, and we need to get some latex going for some of the next steps. So without any further ado, we're going to get started on that. Alrighty, so for tonight, let's start with our machine frame. I have almost everything together. I left out crafting this heavy engineering block because there's some parts of it we haven't done. We did have to make steel plates already together. That's just our steel from up there with our coke furnace and then our blast furnace, and then you smash it with the hammer. Now, to make the blocks, like you might imagine, the sheet metal is just like with iron. Takes 4 of them to craft it. Easy enough. And then steel mechanical components. Once again, we needed more plates. I went ahead and smashed them all ahead of time. We need 4 of these. And there we have it. And now that should allow us, with the overcharged iron still left over from last episode, to craft our heavy engineering blocks. This should get us everything we need to head over to the mechanical crafters and toss this in. Sometimes having your elytra on is great, other times not so much. So let's clear it out. We need one of these, or no, we need 2 of these. One of these, this in the middle, one of those in the bottom, and then it is just plain steel around the outside, or is that compressed iron? Compressed iron. So we need 4 of those. And it tells us that it is a 3x3. We need 9 mechanical crafters for it. So we go corners. And then I believe it's redstone in the top, light engineering, pity frame in the middle, and heavy engineering in the bottom. Let's go turn our... Oh, overstressed. That means I left this side running. Dang it, Wooly. And now, let's get on our lily pad. Should be able to push our button and craft up some machine frames. Ta-da! And we get 2 per craft. So that is awesome. Let's check the quest just to make sure we don't get any useful rewards. Ooh, crescent hammer. It's like the wrench, but for thermal. Copies and transfers settings between blocks. Interesting. And the book for thermal. Nice. Next in the thermal line is the induction smelter, and there is stuff here that we're going to have to get into some immersive engineering tables, stuff like that for. We also are going to need to, before we can use the induction smelter, we have to get to silver to make the thing that it wants us to make. So we're probably going to hold off on the induction smelter for today, and we're going to start down that path towards getting the silver that we need to proceed with thermal. So to get our silver, if we come down here on our quest lines, which we already did for the pressure chamber, the thermopneumatic processing plant is the next thing we need. This is going to need to be out on our create island where we have our pressure generator for now, wherever that is, over yonder. And then we will connect it up to that. We also have to provide it with heat, a heat source underneath it. So let me gather up the things that we need, and I will meet you over on the create island. Well, before we can head over there, I definitely need to craft the thermopneumatic plant. Some of you are probably yelling at your screens already. So let's do it. We're going to need some reinforced stone slabs. Cool. And then we also are going to need a couple of fluid tanks, which we need iron bars for. Cool. Well, those are easy enough. Looks like we have everything for that. So let's make one and another. And then the last thing we need is pressure tube. Ooh, thankfully we don't have to use those sturdy sheets. We can use the compressed iron now. Heck yeah. So much easier to make compressed iron than it is the sturdy sheets. And with the engineering blocks we made for our other stuff, we have everything we need. Try saying that 3 times fast. That is an appropriately named achievement, because thermopneumatic processing plant does not just, roll off your tongue or anything. That's a doozy. Max pressure 10 bar. All right, so let's go check on our quest line to see where we are. Gives us some light engineering blocks. What are your dependencies? Integrated magic. So it wants me to make a mineral sapling. Cool, I was kind of wondering how we got those. And crystallized mineral chunks, we actually already have those because we found 3 blocks of crystallized mineral in our looting in the nether, which I think I covered that loot when we did it. Let's grab ourselves an oak sapling. We'll go ahead and just make a couple. Let's head up to our mana pool, which has a good bit of mana in it. It's not a full pool, but about half. And then make ourselves a couple mineral saplings. And then for the other piece of that, we just have to take the whole crystallized block of mineral and turn it into the chunks. So if you didn't get lucky enough to find some, you get the chunks from growing the tree. So if we were to just grow one of these real quick, snag some bone meal. Do I have any bone meal there? Nope, I probably got some in here. Oh, searchable inventory is so great. Do it sooner than I did in the series. If you're watching and aren't to where I'm at yet, do that as soon as you can get to it, because it is worth every bit of it. Oh, that needs, I forgot, they need a, so these saplings need a block out on all 4 corners to be able to grow. Okay. Maybe it doesn't like that dirt. Let's try it on some regular grass. We're gonna run out of bone meal. Okay. Let's try one more time here. How about that right there? Ta-da! Okay, so there's a couple of ways to get these. The easiest way is going to be, there's always at least one. You notice how vein mine didn't go all the way up there? That is an enriched mineral log, and when you mine it, you actually get, we had 9 before, so we got 2 more mineral chunks. So that's where you can get them if you aren't lucky enough to find, whole blocks in a chest in the nether. But I would definitely, looting is most definitely a part of, like, expedient progression in this pack. So don't feel bad about getting your stuff from looting sky villages or nether villages. It is a legitimate way, because you got to put in the work to get your broom. You got to watch your health on your broom brush to be able to use the broom to get out there. So, it's not like it's just freebie or cheating or whatever. I mean, it's there, so use it. So we got mineral berries too, which you can eat, and they give you, what is it? They give you like a night vision for a very short period of time. So now for the thermopneumatic processing plant to be able to get our quicksilver, we're going to need this in a liquid form, which is done just like everything else we want in a liquid form. We stick it in here in the slow melter, and then while the slow melter's doing its thing, let's go make another tank so we can take it upstairs or out to the create island, I guess is a better way to say that. So a tank, and let's just make one. And then we can put it, I've just gotten to where there's enough fluid hoppers sitting here, so we can just stick it right there and get our mineral resin. That'll be enough for quite a few pieces of silver. And I do believe if we go look down here at the quest line. Oh, what do we get in Gizmos and Gadgets? Oh, I made an item collector for the peat farm off camera. Ooh, it gives us a void upgrade. And a mending fishing rod with Unbreaking 8 and Luck of the Sea too. Man, I might want to take that Unbreaking 8 off and put it on something else so we can do some enchanted smashing or whatever. Where you enchant the anvil and then splitting is the enchantment. You put on the anvil and then you drop it on the item in world and it splits the enchantments off with books. Kind of a neat mechanic. All right, now back to what we were looking for in the quest book on this piece here. Raw silver. So cinnabar with mineral resin inside of a processing plant will get you some quicksilver. While quicksilver is an excellent fuel source for blaze burners, it's also main usage is to create raw silver with mana powder. So we're going to need mana powder, which is, unless they change the recipe, redstone in your mana pool. But let's go look. Mana powder. Oh, it's glowstone, sugar, gunpowder, or redstone. Yeah, what do we have the most of? Glowstone. Cool. Let's go make that. Let's just, there we go. Whole stack of mana powder. Now that should get us a whole stack of silver, which is probably more than we need. But in case you guys haven't figured it out yet, I like to just make a bunch of stuff, when I'm doing it manually. That way I don't have to keep doing it over and over. So now the only other thing we're going to need is some kind of fuel source to heat the thermopneumatic processing plant. Now, I think a blaze burner would probably do the job. So let's go steal one of our blaze burners rather than make another one right now for the sake of time. And then we'll grab some coal to fuel it. Oh, we forgot the cinnabar. I knew I was forgetting something. And if you're wondering about the differences in the bases and you didn't catch it at the beginning, we streamed over on Twitch for a couple hours last night and I worked on the storage area. I'm probably going to do the same thing and stream on Twitch another night and work on all of our resource generation and getting it set up over there under the island. And tomorrow night will be our regular Friday night streams on YouTube where we're streaming on our All the Mods 9 world with Tito. We're going to need to tap into this pressure, which I've got turned off, but hopefully we have enough biodiesel for the things we need to do. So in order to do that, I think if we just start with a blaze burner here, and then we go thermopneumatic on top of it, and then let's just test this and see if I ignite that. Oh yeah, look at that. Temperature is climbing. Can we get it? It needs to be 700 C. So what does a blaze burner get us to? 256. Now I think we can insulate these with like trap doors and stuff to make them retain heat better. Poorly insulated. 4 of the 6 faces which waste heat ensure no neighboring blocks or air in order to insulate the machine. Okay, so let's go grab some trap doors. So we're going to take those trap doors and see if that gets us up to the temperature we need it to. Okay. Oh, look at the temperature climbing. Come on, get to 700. We need 740, I think it said, for the silver. You can see that if you go to uses on your plant and then you find the recipe you're looking for, which I think was, there it was, right here. So this is going to make our quicksilver. And it tells you right here that your temperature needs to be greater than or equal to 727C. So there we go. That's going to get us where we need to be on that. So now we should be able to bucket our mineral resin into there. And then we feed it. What do we feed it again? I should just bookmark the quicksilver fluid, which is what we're making. Quicksilver. And we'll bookmark that. So mineral resin, cinnabar, and that's going to output it with minimum pressure of 3 bar. So let's turn this on to get our pressure going. And then we can toss the cinnabar in there. And once that pressure gets up to the 3 bar line, it's going to make us our quicksilver. So I am going to pause here while this builds pressure. And we'll be back when it's done making stuff. I die so much in between clips, y'all. It's not even funny. Run away from the keyboard to go handle something around the house and come back and you're dead. So when I say put your XP in your XP crystal often, do it, because look, 16 levels. All right, so just want to show you guys a couple of things. So if you only use coal on a blaze burner, I think we may have covered this earlier, but I just want to make sure, it gives you 80 seconds. But if you use a block of coal, it is 500 seconds. So, you know, it's probably more efficient to use blocks of coal, especially if you don't want to have to sit here and just keep feeding it. Secondly, this thing, if you leave it on and your pressure gets above 5 bar, since we've not made a safety control valve or whatever it's called yet, this will explode pieces. Don't ask me how I know. And then you have to replace them and you lose all your pressure. So having a lever to be able to turn your compressor off and on does need to be attended until we get to our safety control valve. The other thing is it counts this as an insulated face, so you can just leave it open so you can see it, but it helps it retain the heat better and get your stuff up to temperature. And lastly, I think we are almost to a full tank here. So I am going to get us a full tank, and then I'm going to meet you at the next spot. So to take our quicksilver and turn it into what we need to put it in the supercooler with power and the mana powder we made earlier. So I'm going to finish up the 32 buckets here, and I will meet you guys over at our supercooler. All right, to finish up our silver production, you come over to your supercooler, which we got here hooked up to our peat generator, and we, move our power cube back around as we need it. You dump your quicksilver on any kind of input to get the fluids into your supercooler, and then it's going to take a bucket of that for a bucket of, per. So this should yield us 32 silver. And there we go. 32 raw silver, which is going to unlock our ability to get into this induction smelter, because we are going to need some other things for it first, but we can't make our electrum without our silver. See, electrum is 1 silver, 1 gold, and the induction smelter gives us 2, and that is the path they intend for us to take to get there. I guess you could technically do it in the arc furnace if you wanted to from Immersive Engineering. I just am a bigger fan of thermal. I think we're going to have to get into both of them deeper than we are. But I just like the thermal machines. They're a little more simple. I like the way the speed upgrades and stuff work in them. It's just easier in my opinion. So I'm going to go that route for our blended metals until it forces me to do something like the arc furnace. All right, so to wrap things up today, y'all, I want to get started down the Immersive Engineering road. So Immersive Engineering is kind of needed to kickstart some things. It's going to unlock some stuff for us too. We need to make a component before we can make, I was trying to figure out how to use the mechanism pipes. We need to make a component before we can do that, and that has to be done in your engineers table in Immersive Engineering. So, and then once we do that, we get a free configurator to be able to configure all of the mechanism pipes, which is going to make automation so much better. So, how do we get started? We go right over here, and we made our coke oven and our blast furnace, and I had it filling into a tank. So a recipe that's not in JI, but we can do, is you can use that tank just like you could a bucket, and it will take out the appropriate amount of fluid each time you craft, and you don't have to continually put buckets into your crafting grid. So that is a super nice little trick. It makes it a little less tedious to get down the immersive engineering path. So we're going to go ahead and just make up some sticks. We're going to make up some slabs. I think those are all of the different things we're going to need. So first things first, we need to make a just like their crafting bench, the engineer's crafting bench. And then we're going to use that. We need to make fences. We're going to use that to make our engineer's workbench. This is what we're going to use. Is there room over here? Can I put it like that? Yeah. Okay, this is what we're going to use to make a couple of things. We need to make some vacuum tubes for our the induction smelter we want to make. Why did I take that recipe off? Yeah, we need to make these, the vacuum tubes. And we also need to make, what is it for the pipes? Universal, learn to type. Universal cables. Those are different. No, it's the logistical transporters. Is the ones I was trying to make. These, the item pipes. We need to make this component here. And when I first looked at it, I was like, quantum assembler, oh, that's a long ways away, but I forgot to look up here, and we can make it in the engineer's workbench. And that is how we're going to make our logistical transporters. And then that, through the quest credits, going to give us the configurator. And that is how we change pipes. You can change colors for sorting and routing. You can tell it to push, pull, all of the goodies that we need to do to be able to use the logistical transporters, since we'll be able to craft them as well. And we'll also be able to craft the mechanical pipes, which we've done before. It's gonna be awesome. So let's just see what we can get done. The next thing we need to do is we need to make an engineer's blueprint, which requires blank parchment from Ars Nouveau. So let's see if we have enough of the fiber stuff to make the Mage Bloom stuff. So, oh my gosh, our crusher guy died because the bottom tier has a durability and they die. So I'm going to have to summon a new crusher before we can proceed, unless there's another way. Nope. Okay. So that's going to be an in-between video thing for Big Wooly here, but next time we'll start off with these immersive engineering pieces that we need to wrap up to be able to progress. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Thanks for watching. I love all the new folks that are joining the channel, And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you enjoyed it, hit subscribe or consider doing it so you can catch these new episodes when they drop. Thanks.